All right, so I call this the Kylie Jenner story. Um, I didn't meet Kylie Jenner. I was talking, and she was standing next to me, but it was at a Tyga video shoot. So here it goes. So, like most video shoots, I spoke with someone. This woman, I don't remember her name even, and she was like, "Hey, we need an ice cream truck for this music video." And I said, "Well, what's it for?" And she said, "Oh, it's for this rapper Tyga." I'm like, "Okay, I know Tyga." So I show up, I'm in the parking lot where I need to be, and I'm talking to a few different guys. There's a security guard. There's a couple different dudes like zipping around in hoverboards because, this was 8 years ago, 9 years ago. And that's when those hoverboards were all super popular before they started exploding on everyone. Anyways, and they were both, turns out they were both SoundCloud rappers, so I thought that was pretty fitting. Anyway, so then after about an hour, I finally get word to go into the building. So I go into the building, and immediately they're like shooting this woman, and she's eating an ice cream cone. It's dripping on her, and I'm listening to the music, and it's like, "I'm the ice cream man. I'm the ice cream man." And I'm like, "Oh, it's crazy. The song's called Ice Cream Man. Insane." And and then it mentions Chunky Monkey. And at the time, we're doing a lot of stuff with Ben and Jerry's. I had given away, tens of thousands of Ben and Jerry's at FYFS, Doheny Days, uh, mainly those two music festivals. So I was like, dude, you should have told me I would have hit up Ben and Jerry's. Got some free Chunky Monkey, and we could have given it out. Probably not, but that would have been cool. Anyways, so after a while, they're like, okay, why don't you go down to this neighborhood? And so I cruise down to the neighborhood. This is in Burbank. And I'm in the neighborhood just waiting. And there's people there. There's like the art department, and they're starting to dress the truck and get it ready. And there's a few extras. There's little easy ups and food around. Um, and, anyways, so then all of a sudden on a flatbed comes this other ice cream truck that belonged to Mr. Cartoon. Now, I'd seen this truck before at the Art in the Streets exhibit in a museum. And so I was like, dude, my truck's going to be in a music video with that truck? That's pretty dope. Like, I've seen that truck before in a museum. And I know who Mr. Cartoon is, or knew who Mr. Cartoon was. So I thought that was pretty cool. And for my part, I was supposed to be like the bad guy ice cream truck, and then the Mr. Cartoon truck was like the hero truck, Tyga's ice cream truck. So so we so we excuse me. So I am talking to the art department, and they're like, it's supposed to be like a big worm situation where this guy's kind of a dirt bag, and he doesn't really like he's not very nice to the kids, and I'm like, well, who's gonna be Big Worm? And they're like, well, you're a Big Worm. Like as far as we know, you're a Big Worm. And so I'm like, dude, this is crazy. I'm gonna be an actor. I'm gonna be Big Worm. Like, all right, I'm down. Well, turns out not so much. This larger African American fellow shows up, and he's like, I'm the actor on this. I'm gonna play the Big Worm part. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, so that happens. We start shooting, and they're like, "Why don't you guys go down the street? Because we have some stuff to shoot, and we don't want you in the shot." So, me, Mr. Cartoon, four or five other people go a block away, and we're just chilling. And Mr. Cartoon's, we're chopping it up about family and talking about, complaining about our wives, normal stuff. Toon's super down to earth guy. That's one thing takeaway. Um, you know, it was cool. Then after a while, they're like, "You guys can come back. We want to have Tyga dance on top of Mr. Cartoon's truck." He's not having it. He's like, "Nah, He can't get on top of the truck. I don't want anything to happen. Ian, can he get on top of your truck? And I was like, yeah, sure, I don't care. So they positioned the two trucks next to each other so that it looks like he's on Toon's truck, but he's really on my truck. Is he going to be all right up there? They ask me, right? And so I look up at Tyga, and I think they put a piece of plywood to kind of distribute the weight evenly. And I'm like, how much do you weigh anyway? Like 135 soaking wet? And he's like, yeah, something like that. So I thought it was funny. Yeah, it's funny. I was fucking with Tyga, you know. Anyways, a little bit later, I'm, hanging out, and I kind of sidle up next to him, and I'm like, yeah, man, like, I think my friend interviewed you, because I have a buddy who, Jay Reed, who runs some hip hop stations in Bakersfield, and I thought he'd interviewed Tyga before. He didn't really know what I was talking about. He was even like, why is this guy fucking talking to me, you know? And then AE shows up. AE is Tyga's buddy, his like sidekick, right? And I've seen Tyga 3 times. Every time AE's right there. The second time I saw him was at Complex Con. Didn't know who the fuck I was. I was like, hey, remember me? Da, 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 da. And he was like acted like I was accosting him or something. And then AE's like, hey, what's up, Ian? Good to see you. You know, like, knew who I was immediately. Pretty funny. Third time I saw him was at a party that Tyga, Freddie Gibbs, and this other girl that was in like Euphoria, Chloe Cherry or something. She I don't know that girl's name. Anyways, so I didn't even try to talk to Tyga. He took pictures next to the ice cream truck, had a Freddie Gibbs rap on it. I didn't even talk to him. I just went up to AE. What's up? Good to see you. How you doing? He's like, hey man, good to see you too. Super cool guy. Fast forward, a couple years ago, I was reading the news. You get little pop-ups on your phone. It's like, Cher's boyfriend is 40 years younger than him. And I'm looking at this article and I'm like, hey, I know that guy. It's AE. So, super cool guy. Shout out AE. Anyways, while I was talking to AE and Tyga, back at the video shoot, there was some girl there. I don't know. Didn't care. Whatever. We shoot the whole video. It's pretty much done. They're like, all right, we're going to do like a dance party scene. So we do the little dance party scene. They're like, Ian, you got to get in there. And so they like literally push me into like the big crowd. And at one point I was like front and center in the video, and I'm not in that part. You can find me though. I am in the background. Anyways, what I thought was funny is in the moment while we're shooting, this dude smacks this girl on the butt, right? And it was funny. Everybody was like, dang, that's crazy. That's pretty silly. If you watch the video, it's definitely part of the video, and it's very serious and seems like very like legit. It was not. It was a joke. So, anyways, at the end of all of this, we're wrapping up, and me and the people in the art department are kind of like, I don't really get why we're still doing the whole money and hose thing, like since like, the 90s, it's all money and hose. Let's change the aesthetic somewhat, So, I mean, there's other people doing other stuff nowadays, but still, I think Tyga is really banked on all of that. I get home that night, and I'm like, isn't Tyga like dating that girl or something, like one of the Kardashians? So I go online, I'm looking it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, she is. And I see a picture of her dog, and I'm like, oh, that dog was at the video shoot. And that's how I sort of pieced together that Kylie Jenner was indeed at that video shoot. So that is basically the story of the Tyga video. Fast forward 8 years, I did an Ebony Riley video, and this dude shows up, And I end up talking to his assistant, and he's helping out, directing a little bit. He's more just kind of checking up on stuff. And I was like, damn, man, that guy looks familiar. So I asked his little assistant, and I'm like, hey, did that guy direct Tyga Ice Cream Man like 8 years ago? And he's like, maybe, I don't know. Sounds like something you'd do. So then I asked him, and he said, yep, I did. And he was like, good memory. And he remembered me. I mean, he remembered the ice cream truck. So I thought that was pretty cool. That's one thing I've noticed is LA, as big as it is, it is pretty small. And I meet people all the time that know somebody I know or somebody I've met before or whatever. So that's pretty dope. Anyways, thanks for listening. This is my first little experiment for long form video. I want to, share some more of these stories, share what I got going on, and just some of my thoughts and ideas. And the main thing is I wanna add like the positiveness of social media. I wanna make it what it's supposed to be, where it connects people, it brings communities together, brings people together. I don't think that's what it is, right? I read Bobby Hundred's book. Um, I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. It's based on the Fugazi shirt. This is not a Fugazi t-shirt. Whatever. Anyways, but he talks about that a little bit, like how the promise of social media is a failure. And I'm trying to do these so that so I can use the internet for good, right? I mean, Al Gore invented it for a reason. So, anyways, love you, miss you. We'll see you at the next one. Bye.